Hello, and welcome to What is Self-Care Planning by Brooke Lazar. What is self-care planning? Self-care planning is a class taken at Georgian Court University. However, it is also a way of making sure that the self is taken care of while every hectic thing is happening in one's life. Some people don't believe taking care of themselves is important, and that is where a lot of people are wrong and get sick and tired very easily. Why is self-care planning important? Self-care planning helps to make sure one has time in their hectic day to take care of themselves and better their quality of life. It can help to relieve stress and promote relaxation and restfulness. It can help the mind to be mindful and to be in the now and not reliant on just the human autopilot. It can also help to boost your immune system and reduce the possibility of one getting sick. Benefits of self-care planning. Some of the benefits of self-care planning are increased sense of self and sense of others around you, increased ability to concentrate during meditation, whether it is guided or unguided, increased balance of immune system and ability to fight off germs and disease, increased ability to relax and stay relaxed, increase in mindfulness, decrease in anxiety and stress levels, and a decrease in overall overwhelm. Important things to know before we continue on. Control dramas. There are 4 different kinds of control dramas. There's a poor me, there's an aloof, there's an interrogator, and there's an intimidator. Now, in the next 4 slides, we are going to go over what all of these are. The poor me. This is the most passive control drama. They tend to cry and make one feel sorry for them. They will take most things said to heart, make you feel like you did something wrong. Usually, this happens when something happens in a poor me's life, and they will use it to steal your energy. Like when someone gets an F on a test, they will go home and they'll be like, "Oh, poor me, I got an F on my test," and everyone's trying to make them feel better, and this is stealing their energy. The poor me is the opposite of the intimidator. Then there's the aloof. This is my most common control drama. They're a less passive way of stealing one's energy. They're very distant and unreadable, very dismissive, and they tend to say, "I don't care" a lot. The opposite of the interrogator is the aloof. Then there is the interrogator, more aggressive type of control drama. Very invasive and asks a lot of questions, and most times disguises put-downs as questions, attempting to be helpful. Like, why don't you just dress better? Or why don't you style your hair better? This is considered a put-down, as you would think that your hair or your clothes look good, but they are insinuating that they don't, while asking a question disguised as being helpful. Once again, the interrogator is the opposite of the aloof. Then there's the intimidator, the most aggressive type of control drama, scaring you and bullying you. This is what most bullies in school and in work life are. They are outright putting you down, they are not disguising it, and sometimes they will physically abuse you. This is the opposite of the poor me. Now on to quality of life. In the next 3 slides, we will discuss what it is, why it is important, and examples of quality of life. What is it? Life satisfaction, which is subjective and may fluctuate. multi-dimensional factors that include everything from physical health, psychological state, level of independence, family, education, wealth, religious beliefs, a sense of optimism, local services and transport, employment, social relationships, housing, and the environment. Cultural perspectives, values, personal expectations, and goals of what we want from life. Not just the absence of disease, but the presence of physical, mental, and social well-being. Our level of acceptance of our current condition and our ability to regulate negative thoughts and emotions about that condition. Why is it important? Quality of life, or for this certain presentation we will use QOL, is what everyone wants a good one of. People usually prefer a good quality of life over a good quantity of life. This means that they would rather have a good life than have a long life. Having a good quality of life means that one is happy with their life thus far. While one can be happy with their quality of life, there is always room for improvement. Quality of life is not just rated as a whole. There are different parts of the life that are quality of lives. The one I chose to look at and try and improve was anxiety, as it is a large part of my life currently. Some examples of qualities of life can be anxiety, happiness, passion, balance, solitude, comfort, and relaxation, although these are not the limit to qualities of life. Now here is my experience with self-care planning. Hi, I'm Brooke. This is my take on this class. My quality of life was anxiety, and this is because for my entire high school and college career, I have had a lot of problems with my anxiety where it is almost crippling. I have been to many doctors, and all they keep prescribing me is medication, which gives me adverse side effects that I don't like. At one point in my life, I was slightly addicted to Xanax, as my doctor did not tell me that using it as much as my anxiety was happening could cause addiction. Although it wasn't as bad as many other addictions, it was still important to me that I don't want to use any medications anymore. Why I chose this quality of life. I chose this more as an experiment than anything else. I have a very bad problem with anxiety, and it is a large part of my life. While taking all integrative health classes have worked in some way, I wondered if there was a permanent change I could do without taking medication to help better my anxiety levels. Here is a chart of my levels before I started my self-care plan. As you can see, there is a very steady pattern of up-down movement. This means that most of the up movements are before or above 4, and a little bit are below 4. This is a very big problem for me, although 5 and over tend to be more of my crippling anxiety. 4 to 5 is the range of worry that I have, and it's a constant worry in the back of my head. My self-care plan. There are 4 parts of the self-care plan. In the next 4 slides, we will go over the physical intentions, the emotional intentions, the mental intentions, and the spiritual intentions that I made for my self-care plan. 3 of my physical intentions were affirmations, dress to impress, and accept compliments. Affirmations were to look at myself in a mirror and tell myself that I am beautiful at least twice daily. Dress to impress was to dress as if I was going on a date with my boyfriend every time I leave the house, exempt for work as I do have a work uniform. Accept compliments was thank someone for their compliment and do not tell them that they are wrong, whenever applied. Emotional intentions were affirmations, friends, and promise ring. Affirmations were to look at myself in a mirror and tell myself that I love myself. This was to happen 2 times daily. Friends was to surround myself with people who love me at least twice weekly, but more is to be expected. And then there's promise ring. Whenever I feel unloved, fiddle with my promise ring whenever applied. My mental intentions were deep breaths, just walk away, and speak your mind. Deep breaths was take deep breaths whenever stress arises and keep it up until stress declines, whenever applied. Just walk away. If someone or something makes you feel anxiety, remember you can always just walk away, whenever applied. Speak your mind was to speak your mind whenever you feel the need to, as it reminds me I am in control of what I have to say. This was to be done 3 times daily. And last but not least, we have spiritual intentions, was Reiki, meditation, and family. Reiki was to perform Reiki of self to improve overall feeling of wholeness 3 times weekly. Meditation was specified meditations to help activate the Reiki benefits 3 times weekly. And family was to spend time with family as they make me whole at least once weekly. How has this designated self-care plan helped me? This was my quality of life after initiating a self-care plan. I did start a few days beforehand so that we could see the difference between before and after. You can see a steady decrease with a few up moments in anxiety levels since starting this plan. Yes, most of them are still at 4, but there are more that are beneath 5, which is very significant. And the ones that are up high, I have realized that if I did have an anxiety attack, it was a little bit bad, but I would much rather at least have 1 or 2 bad anxiety attacks than have an anxiety attack once, twice, 3 times a week. What have I taken from this class? Taking care of myself is more important than taking care of others unless there's a small child involved, as they don't know how to take care of themselves. I need to be able to take better care of myself in order to get better in anything that I do. My quality of life can get better just by making sure that I take time out of my day to focus on me. This is my citation page. I hope everyone enjoyed my presentation, and I hope everyone has a wonderful and beautiful day.